You are listening to Unsound Logic with Nico and Jeremy, and today we have a guest over, Sir Glen. Welcome.
Glen, welcome to the party.
You might remember him from such episodes as Rush Marine Only.
Fun. It was fun, but at the same time...
We need to get you back.
Hey, today's subject, we're going to talk about something that affects each and every one of us, regardless of what side of the subject you're on. We're going to talk about customer service.
Yeah, I'll be going through the customer side of things. Jeremy wanted to go through the employee side.
Now, before we get started, I want to clarify, I've been in a number of customer service positions. I've been a waiter, I've been a bartender, I've been a restaurant manager, both in a fast food and full-service dining setting. And even in law enforcement, believe it or not, there is still a customer service aspect that I still have to deal with. So I know in my job and the jobs that I've had, I have to deal with that crap all the time. And if I understand correctly, I'm pretty sure Glen probably has to deal with that a lot too.
Yeah, I work a customer service job. One that not a lot of people might be familiar with because of the oddity of my job. I work in a state, United States, where it's illegal to pump your own gas.
Which baffles me no end.
What? Wait. Hold on.
Yes.
What?
It is a state law in Oregon, where I live. You cannot pump your own gas.
What?
There's exemptions for diesel and motorcycles, but in a regular vehicle, you cannot pump your own gas, and you have to have an attendant do it for you.
Excuse me? Here you can't get anyone to pump the gas for you, even if you asked.
I pump gas. I pump gas into hundreds of vehicles a workday.
You can't leave the fucking nozzle in. It doesn't stay in. You have to actually hold it yourself.
That would make my life a living hell. I would blow my brains out if I had to do a week of shit work like that.
Well, that's good. You already have bigger problems then.
I want to open this by... First, I want to put a question to you guys. Do you think we, as a society, and I'm talking about a global society because clearly this happens, I think, probably in every country to some degree or less, do you think we place too much of an emphasis on what we consider good customer service?
No, it's expected.
The customer is always right bullshit and things like that.
Yes, I do. I actually would argue that we put a little too much emphasis on that.
But I would say no, because we expect good customer service. It's an expectation, and once you break it, that's...
I definitely agree that we should expect good customer service. We shouldn't put so much importance on it, though.
I mean, I guess obviously it's different for every job, but like, we'll take, for example, like when I was a waiter, it was considered good customer service if I approached my customers in a friendly manner. I delivered them prompt service and took care of their needs in a expeditious fashion. Now, there's got to be a line there, because like obviously if I'm a waiter and I've got a ton of tables and it's the lunch rush, obviously things are going to suffer. Should we still expect that same level of service even during like the busiest parts of the day in a restaurant as we would say if we were the only one eating in there on a 2 o'clock on a Tuesday?
Depends on circumstances. Like if on the normal basis, on a average, yes, you should be able to go to that restaurant on any given day and expect to have good customer service regardless of how busy it is, because it's the business's job to keep
you get more employees.
Enough staff. Enough staff on going to keep the level of customer service up.
If your place is failing at rush hour, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, but if you go to a place once, like it's the first time you've gone there, or not the first time you've gone there, it's like you've been there all the time, you know the place like the back of your hand, and you could tell they're short-staffed today. Someone didn't show up for work, right? And it's the middle of lunch hour. You have 2 fucking people cooking burgers, orders for like 30 fucking people in the middle of a Burger King, and one person's paying entirely in nickels, and there's like 8 people
Dude, it happens.
Drive-through.
It fucking happens.
It does happen.
You have to understand, like, they're not shitty employees. They're not doing their job inefficiently. They're just in a shitty situation, and you yelling at them to cook your burger faster, and you yelling at them because they forgot to hold the pickles is not going to make anyone's day better. Like,
Then you
It's
have
not
the
gonna
old
get
guys trying to get the cards out of their wallets. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, it's not going to expedite the solution to your problem. Being angry and like being pissed off. It's just not going to do anyone any good.
We don't really gossip about the positive encounters we have. We only gossip about the negative because we expect the good.
Yeah, it's very easy to tell. Like very much. I forget what it's called, but it's a mental thing people do, and we're programmed to notice stuff that's gone wrong compared to stuff that's gone good.
Yeah. Especially online reviews. They're all fucking negative.
It's like an instinctual level. Like, you don't even realize you're doing it. Like,
Nico's actually got a very good point there. He talks about being all negative. I know, like, if I order something from Amazon and it works fine, it does everything I want it to do, when I go to give my review, I usually just do something simple like
5 stars.
It arrived on time, item worked as advertised, and that's the end of it. But when things go wrong, I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker's about to have a bad day.
I'd like to point out, this is a good point, why the people who actually do lengthy good reviews are fucking godsend. Like, the people that go on there and just leave the shit.
Yeah, I love that.
The shitty, like, oh, I got it, and it's a piece of shit, and they don't tell you why.
Yeah.
Like, what, your review is worthless. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so what is wrong? What the fuck is wrong with it?
Yeah.
I think with eBay, at least, especially, you've only got so many characters you can type, so you can't really explain the problem. And I think they probably do that on purpose, just because you'd have people writing 2-3 page reviews about why stuff goes wrong. And
yeah, but you know what happened? Then it's like, bad product did not work.
It's like that one guy writing a thesis on why Blue Yetis suck.
Well, that's what customer service is about. The negative ones: lack of manners, rudeness, long waits on the phone, long waits on the line, lack of knowledge, all of this bullshit.
Yeah, it can be seen everywhere. Bad customer service can be seen everywhere.
What is about food chains, though? That's like the most commonplace. Maybe because we eat all the time. Like fuck, of course.
I think it's just. I think the reason those always seem so bad is you spend more time there than you do most other retail locations.
It's a frequency thing. If you go to the bank once a week, but you go eat out at fast food twice a week, I'm not saying that, If you follow that pattern, you're twice as likely to have a bad customer service experience at a fast food place, right?
Yeah, you don't go to the bank every day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, most people associate it with eating.
Well, and also those are, especially if you're going to fast food places a lot, that's a lot of first jobs for a lot of people. They don't have a lot of experience dealing with customer service or how to provide good customer service, or they're just simply not mature enough to understand the difference, and so they behave like jerks. And
I've never really had bad experiences on the food department. Like, everything has been going pretty smoothly for me, yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say the same. I have actually had very few truly bad customer services, like, experiences directly to myself.
It's probably because the back and forth is so short. It takes like a minute to do the order thing, and then it's done.
It's really hard for someone directly involved, like interacting with me, to fuck up, because that's
strange. Because here in Wichita, of course, we're a city of almost 500,000 people, so we're pretty big. But I mean, there's entire restaurants that we'll avoid at all costs, just because every time we've gone in there, we've gotten really bad service.
I don't know.
Regional things.
Maybe
regional things, or maybe it's a. I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, you're such a anal retentive asshole or whatever. But like, maybe it's a tolerance level that might seem like unbearable bad customer service for you, where you'll never go back. Isn't as big a deal. Like, I know some people who would go through a drive-through at McDonald's and they forgot his ketchup packets, and he's fucking furious. Like, I'm never going back to McDonald's.
No, I wouldn't even care.
Right? And for me, it'd be like, oh man, you know what? They fucked up, but you know what? It's not.
Life doesn't end.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen people who go apeshit about stuff like that. You forgot my fucking condiments.
I was at Subway the other day, and this old lady was in front of me ordering a 6-inch something sub, right? And she gets to the end, and she's like, okay, so here's my money, and it's like $6.25 or whatever, $6.25, and it's plainly obvious that's exactly what she has. And the price on one of the things she gets on her sandwich has gone up, and she hasn't realized, so her sandwich is not exactly how much she expects it to be, and the guy tries to explain it to her, and like he's not being rude or anything about it, but she's upset, like very angry. She's like, well, this is all I have. This is all you're gonna get. I want my sandwich. This is what I've been paying for years. Like this 80-year-old lady, and this poor guy doesn't know what to do. He's just like,
I fucking hate customers that though.
And he's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know what to do. It's like, here's what I'll do. I'll cover the dollar. I'll cover the dollar difference. And I felt so bad for him. Like, and he did my shit perfectly. I ended up leaving him a tip, but like,
You tipped the Subway guy?
Yeah, I fucking tip everyone, man.
What?
If someone, I tip like, I work in a job where I get tips.
Hold on.
See, in Europe, they don't tip anybody.
No, we don't tip. Actually, I can assure you that in Estonia they do.
Oh.
But here, here they don't.
For me, it's not even a mandatory. It's not necessarily that it's expected, because at a lot of fast food places and a lot of places like that, it's not, right? At a regular sit-down restaurant, it is expected, and you're in the U.S. You're a dickhole if you don't tip.
Yeah.
We didn't know when our workplace went to Estonia. We went to eat at some place, and we didn't know that you have to tip there.
This is another topic altogether, but people should be forced to research the area they're traveling to.
Yeah, Nico.
It wasn't my fault.
God damn it, Nico,
I wasn't paying. When she came back with the bill, she was like, "So you think this is fair? Because we didn't leave any tip." And one of the guys goes, "Oh yeah." So we paid the exact amount. Not anything over.
See, in the United States, it's not mandatory, but like the accepted custom is typically 15% of the bill.
And the reason there's this misconception in a way, and that it's really double-sided. It's a fucked up system. But basically, employers are allowed to pay, certain industries are allowed to pay their employees less than actual minimum wage because they're expected to make up the difference in tips. Waiters are supposed to be protected by saying that if you fail to make up a certain amount of your wage in tips, your employer has to cover it. But that puts your employer in a position to where if you're not making enough tips, it's advantaged for them to fire you and hire someone else.
Yes.
I don't understand that culture because we never had to tip anyone.
Fucked up. It's absolutely fucked up and stupid. But like but it leads to this place where like if you wanted to not be an asshole, you're expected to tip.
If I tipped someone at a restaurant, they would be like, "You fucking pervert, get out of here."
Yeah, 50% is considered the norm, and less than that if they did poorly, and if you thought they really did well, then you leave them a little bit more.
Did you say 50?
15.
Oh, I was like, oh shit.
Rule of thumb is you basically take the sales tax and you double it, and that's what your tip is.
There are no consequences on not tipping, right?
Other than the moral issues to it.
So do you
seen the movie Waiting?
Yes. Nope. Yes. You need to watch that movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a very terrible. It's not even really good cinema, but it's hilarious.
It's so bad. It's good movie. I love that movie.
So do you guys tip?
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, I've been a waiter and a bartender. If I am actually very picky about how I tip. I tip good for good service, and I don't tip at all for bad service, and I make sure they know about it.
But you were talking about how it's never advantaged or it's never like forced to tip. In a way, it's not. But if you're going to that place again and again, people will remember you as the asshole who doesn't tip. And that's how you get piss in your soup. That's how you get your fucking spit soup.
By rubbing their nuts up on your chicken.
Do not fuck with people who fuck with your food.
Ever. And there are places where if the group is big enough, they'll automatically include the gratuity in the ticket to make sure that the waiter comes away with something.
Your country is fucking strange.
Yes, we have all kinds of interesting ways to extort money from our citizens.
I wrote something about this. I said, the best way to get consistent, good customer service at a place you are going to repeat visit is to be someone that business actually enjoys or at least does not hate doing business with.
So you're losing money on nothing.
Well,
I don't understand this. Explain this tipping to me so I can continue my life.
I don't know where it began. I
hate how tipping is handled in restaurants, but I love it how it's handled at my job. I get paid flat rate regardless of how, like, you know. But if I do a good job, people throw me a couple bucks.
The only person that I tip that I'm not by society rules supposed to tip is my barber when he cuts my hair, because we usually talk, we chat, we have a good time. When I get done, I pay the bill and I give him a couple extra dollars.
In your country, tipping is very big.
The only country that matters, even Finland says so.
Nico speaks for all of Finland.
We don't tip. Who cares?
He should speak for all of Finland. I think if Nico were Finland's prime minister, well, it would be a much angrier country, probably.
Well, what about the guys who jump on you immediately when you go to a store and you have to go like, I'm just browsing. Then another guy jumps in.
They're usually forced to do that by their job.
Yep.
Yeah, I also have an interesting perspective on this because my brother is that guy. My brother sells shoes for a living.
Oh no!
At the mall, and he is that guy. Yeah, he has a quota, if you will. Like the store has to sell a certain amount of shoes per day in order for certain people to get their bonuses and shit. So your boss will be on your ass to like be with customers and try and sell more shoes. And as soon as it's your boss's job to like get your ass selling more shit so he can make a bonus, you better be sure you're gonna be forced to go out there and harass every damn customer that comes in the door.
Yeah, we have a new electronics store here as well, and every fucking guy jumps on your back like a fucking monkey.
Sounds like Best Buy.
And it's also, another part of that is commission. A lot of those places, they get commission, get a bonus for selling stuff, and so they're incentivized, and it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be a good thing. Like, okay, we're going to give these people incentive. We're going to give them a commission for every phone they sell, right? And it's going to be an incentive for them to give good customer service. But what it really is an incentive for them to be naggy and harassing you and follow you around.
You know what I hate about some people like that? They when the customer service people have this stupid fucking smirk on their face, or they laugh at you for not knowing something. God, that irritates the fuck out of me. Don't know if that happens in the US at all.
Like, what are you talking about? Give an example.
So if I'm like browsing for a fridge or something, and I ask a question, does this fridge do this and that? And they'll just like, you don't know that? Well, let me explain. Or something that fucking boils my blood. Yeah, they're dicks.
Never encountered that, but I'm pretty sure if I did, I'd probably pop him in the mouth the first time he laughed at me.
It doesn't make any sense to laugh at your customers for not knowing.
Exactly, it doesn't. Yeah,
it's your job. It's your job to tell them.
Exactly.
But I encountered those people a lot in Finland for some reason. Like they were like, oh, and then they just walk away, and you're like, all right.
People laugh?
Yes, but it's like their laugh is. They close their lips, like they don't show their lips at all, and then just walk away.
They're practicing a ventriloquist act. Are you going to be the next Jeff Dunham?
Great.
Don't give him ideas. He already comes up with the most stupid ideas.
Nico, the Finnish Jeff Dunham. That's your title. That's how they introduce you.
The Finnish Jeff Dunham.
Let me Google that. Jeff Dunham. Oh, it's that motherfucker. I hate him.
I kill you. That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That one joke that fucking... God. When that thing became new... This is a weird tangent.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yes, and it's still going today.
Is it still going today?
Doesn't he have like a Vegas show or something? God, he's like...
No.
That's Terry Fader that has a Vegas show.
What would you guys consider good customer service for like podcasters, Twitch users, or YouTube channels like us? If you were a fan of us or Mojo or some other lesser channel, what would you want to see?
I'm glad not to be wrapped up in that group.
What would you consider? What would you like to see out of those people that you're following for good customer service?
So you're saying we are delivering customer service here?
Well, we depend on them for views and occasionally Patreon donations. So I think a customer
people that
service.
Consume our content are customers. Is that yes. What you're trying to?
Oh, very much so. They're very much customers.
I never thought of it like that. I never thought of it like that.
Jesus, you guys are. Come on.
No, it's like it's uncomfortable because I've streamed for a long time and I consider like the vast majority of people that hang out on my stream on a nightly basis friends.
Well, yeah,
But you know what the difference is? The difference
Like
with...
you guys consume my content, and I wouldn't consider you guys customers.
But the difference
Right.
between this and like real customer service, I'm just... If I do a video or if I do a Nico evaluates, if I do the podcast, people can just watch or not watch. What do I care?
So, but my thing is, are you committed to delivering what you feel is good quality content? You have a standard for your episodes.
Yep.
So there you go. You have a standard of service that you are trying to provide. So you have customer service. And yes, we might all be friends, but not everybody who comes through your channel or subscribes to our channel interacts with us on a personal basis. And so there's a more of a customer business relationship there.
Yeah,
If they're contributing views, and some of them can donate money, so there's a customer aspect to that.
I would say more so for the big YouTubers who actually make money from YouTube.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably a little more stratified. If you look at guys like PewDiePie or Markiplier or whatever, that's a little different. But the principle, the underlying principle, is still the same. You know, if we suddenly, as Snupsters, changed our episode format and Nico no longer cared about the quality of the audio recordings and it was just really sloppy editing and stuff like that, we'd lose views. We'd lose subscribers, and we lose Patreon donations. So that's the customer service aspect. We change our expectation, and we lose our client base.
I know, like, in the sense that if we get feedback from even one or two guys, we take it seriously. If somebody says, you should do this and that, I really think about it. Should we actually do that? So in that way, we're delivering customer service. We listen to the individuals. Not a lot of people do that.
I like that Mojo guy. He's just like, fuck all y'all. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing.
Now that I'm
playing this Mega Man Battle Network whether you like it or not.
I do have a long fucking story that came into my mind.
Do it.
It's about the car. Who would have guessed?
Oh, do I know the story?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, I already told you about the deal about my car on a previous podcast, so I'm not going to go into detail what was wrong, you probably already know. Yep. I did have some customer service experiences while I was sorting the problem out. And as you know, the car is now fine. One of the dealers did find the issue, and there indeed was a problem that other dealers never found. So I took the car to multiple dealers around that time, and I would guess like 5 different shops or something. But this one case stuck into my head. Everything went fine when I was emailing them about the problem and how nobody has figured it out. And they pretty much told me that, alright, sounds like a pain in the ass. Why don't you bring it over and we'll give you the source of the problem for free? And I'm like, that should have been a red flag. Why are they gonna do it for free? They're gonna find a problem for free? Alright, can't beat that. So, upon arriving there...
You don't have a problem, we'll make one.
Yeah. So,
we'll find a problem, I swear.
So, upon arriving there, I noticed that the neighborhood was a bit off. It was way out of town, and this place was like a small shack with a garage.
That's awesome. Those are the best kind.
Yep. So I parked my car outside, and this Indonesian-looking motherfucker was standing outside, talking on the phone and smoking. Not to be insensitive, but I'm trying to paint a picture. So I tried to make eye contact, but he didn't even look at me. So the next thing I did was, alright, let me guess, from which door do I go into the customer service area? You know the places, they have multiple doors. You're never gonna know which one is the right door. No fucking signs. Don't know what door is the right one. So I go in, and I'm in the garage. Of course, I'm in the garage side. So obviously I picked the wrong door. And I was trying to ask the people there, where should I go? And someone, without even looking at me, was pointing at the direction. So I go, alright. So I fucking leave, go through the other door, and there it is, a fucking counter. And there was this guy with longish hair, just a bit smirk on his face, of course. Already I can tell this guy is a fucking asshole. So I tell him that I had previously contacted the place via email. And he said, alright, it'll take an hour. So I left, and I felt like I was leaving my fucking child to a bunch of fucking incompetent monkeys. But I kept walking down the road, and I found this place. It was like one of those fucking small yards with different structures One was a coffee place, one was a grocery store, small shop with general items.
You can call those strip malls.
Yeah, and what it was called something like Johnstown. And fucking, the place looked like someone pulled apart of the past, like from the 1920s to the current timeline. So I went to the coffee place, and I'm still wondering what the fuck have I walked into. And everything is fine inside. Get my coffee, sandwich, and apparently the owner's wife was the one who gave me the coffee and sandwich, and she was managing the counter. And I soon realized that this John character, whoever he is, the owner of the whole little place he calls a town, sits on the table next to me with some other guy. They're both like fucking 80 years old. So I started listening to him because he was loud as fuck, and I couldn't really enjoy my coffee. He starts going about this monkey that's working for him, and I'm like, at this point, what? Who in the goddamn fuck hires a fucking monkey to do yard work?
Well,
so,
this is a racist old man story.
Yeah.
Here.
I started actually peering outside because I was next to a window.
You looking for the monkey?
No. Hold on. I was peering outside the window, yes. But I was looking outside because I was next to the window. And lo and fucking behold, a fucking black guy comes around the corner doing yard work. And I'm like, what the fuck? This guy's a racist fuck. He was going on and on about how he pays him so little and how he's dumb or whatever. And I'm like, alright, that's my cue to leave. So I leave my coffee and sandwich, half eaten. And I started walking around the town because I was like, this place can't exist. This is not real. You basically, you see the whole area when you do a 360. And because I had nothing else to do while waiting to get my car, that was the best thing I had. So, like, this place looked straight from fucking Fallout. Like, full of garbage, awful looking structures and houses, and fucking musky and dark. I was fucking scared. So I went to the general store. I don't even know. Why the fuck did I go in? Why the fuck did I go in there?
Is this the third building in this strip mall you've been into? The mechanic? The
Yes.
So you're just visiting everything on this strip mall?
Yeah, because it was so
and
fucking
you said,
weird.
And to clarify, you did say you can see everything from one place. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if you're in the middle, like, it's surrounded. Like, there's a huge sign that says, like, Johnstown, and everything's, like, surrounding you. So I for fucking some reason, I went into the general store. I was gonna browse what they had, and it was like all the things from my childhood, like these old fucking toys, like old brands from the fucking 90s.
Let's go.
Yeah, for cheap. And I was like, who the hell buys this shit? Nobody buys anything that's on here. And all of this fucking time when I was browsing things, there was this one guy who ran the shop, and he didn't even say hello when I went in. He clearly saw me. He kept fucking following me. Like, every time I turned around, he was there pretending that he wasn't following me. Like, sometimes he peered at from me behind the shelves, and sometimes he was at the other side of the aisle.
Nico.
Yeah,
I could just picture, because we know about Nico and his history with supermarkets and
he's a supermarket
going
klepto.
off and stuff.
Supermarket klepto.
So I started to go faster.
They heard
and faster.
about you, asshole.
I was walking very fast, and finally got out. Didn't buy anything, needless to say. And in a pretty loud voice, I said, "Buy 10." And he didn't even respond. Like, he just looked at me. Like, at this point, I was fucking done. So I walked back to the repair shop, waited for another half a fucking hour, and then the guy quietly whispers that my car is ready. And they told me that there is...
I just have like this image of like Nico just sitting in the chair, like browsing on his phone or whatever, and the guy like comes up behind him and just like creeps over his shoulder and says, "Your car is ready."
No, he was still at the
shitty rundown 1920s strip mall.
He was fucking creepy. He was still at the counter. He was like, "Your car's ready, sir."
You're right, Nico. If nothing else, you're painting a picture.
So, you know what they told me? Nothing's wrong with the car. So,
I somehow knew this was going to lead up.
Yeah, they also said that we had a Ford guy drive it around the town, and he said it drove like a dream. And then he said, like, it's just me driving the car improperly, and that I should learn how to drive correctly. That'll be $50.
Oh, wow.
He
And I actually
paid them to kick you in the nuts.
And I actually fucking raised my voice.
He didn't even find anything wrong with your damn thing.
No.
Promised.
But listen. I actually raised my fucking voice. I told him I ain't fucking paying shit. You told me the checkup was free, and he said, why would we work for free? So I responded, that's what I was fucking wondering. Here's the email. And he's like, oh, he ripped the fucking bill in front of me. So I left the place fucking pissed. But thankfully a week later I got real customer service and the car was finally fixed. There was an actual fucking hose detached and they didn't see it.
To be fair, he did rip up the bill, though. I would say that's good customer service. He admitted his mistake and he ripped up the bill.
Oh, definitely.
He was fucking mad still. Well, but these fucking dicks can't see a detached fucking hose.
I see a long story about 3 separate shitty customer service experiences, and then the third one suddenly goes mediocre.
You know what's funny? I left that's what I did. I left a bad review on, we had this site, it's not Yelp, but it's pretty close. I left a bad review of the place and they took their site down. They couldn't handle it. Motherfuckers. If you're being told that you should learn how to drive at a fucking car repair shop, what the fuck?
Sounds like something I would say.
Man.
Yeah. I think that's
more powerful than Yelp. I'm trying to imagine anyone actually getting shut down because of a Yelp review.
It's like, yeah, how do you say Yelp and thing?
Like it was so weird going to the other place. It's like in 2 minutes they knew what was wrong and they fixed it, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
it has worked since.
Shitty mechanics, people that don't know how to do their job.
Losing my shit again, thinking about it.
I don't blame you.
So clearly, there's lots of anger. There's room for lots of anger and hate and discontent in bad customer service.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I mean, and I know at least one guy who will listen to this who could probably attest that there has been multiple times when I was a fast food manager that I almost came out the window and killed somebody. Actually, but when I was, I'm not going to say what chain I worked for, and I'm not going to say what town this was in. It wasn't the town I lived in at the time, though. I did watch a manager go out a window after somebody, and I have to tell the story. It's a fast food restaurant. It has 2 windows set up. First window, they take your money. Second window, they give you your food. It's a car full of ladies. There's 4 ladies in the car. Actually, no, there were 5. 2 in the front, 3 in the back. And they placed their order. And the lady who's taking their order, after she gets through taking it, she repeats it back to them, which is good policy. And the lady in the car is like, no, that's all wrong. Here's what we wanted. And she tells it again, which is almost identical to what she had put in. And she's like, man, that's what I've got. This, and this. And she's like, no, that's not it. But basically what happened was by the time they got up to the window to get their food, they had completely changed their order. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was still an assistant manager. I had not achieved full manager status yet. But my general manager, who was living on borrowed time, the man had beat cancer twice, had 4 heart attacks, and somehow every time he went to Vegas, he made thousands of dollars. I'll never understand it. He's up there, and eventually, the people had been there for almost 10 minutes at this point at the window. And finally, he's like, here's your food. Take it. We won't even charge you. Just take it and get out of my window and get out of our lives and let us go on about our lives. So they left, and as I recall, only 4 of the women in the car actually ordered something. One of the women in the back did not order anything. About an hour later, and by this point, we're in the middle of our lunch rush. It's about 12:30. The lady who did not order anything comes back into the restaurant and stands at the front counter and starts yelling at the general manager about what shitty customer service they got and everything else, and just like is screaming at the top of her lungs. And by this point, the entire restaurant has now stopped eating and is looking right at this lady. And finally, at the end of it, she goes, you know what? You suck as a manager. And he finally snapped and says, you know what? You suck as a customer. And the entire restaurant stood up and started clapping. That's one case where the customer was clearly wrong because they were just trying to get free food out of it. They were not interested in the right thing. They were just, trying to make our day really bad. And my manager wasn't having it and let him know about it. And if it had been any other manager in the company, he would have lost his job. But fortunately, he's like best friends with the district manager and was able to blow the whole thing off. So lucky him. But it was,
that would have been still worth it.
Yes. And evidently he has come out a window and assaulted a customer before for one reason or another. So, like I said, the man's living on borrowed time.
This fits in. I wrote a note that says, Customer service is a two-way transaction. Yes, businesses should always strive to make customers' transaction as flawless and as aligned with what the customer wants as possible, but it has to be within the realm of reality. Despite popular rumor, the customer can be wrong.
And they frequently are.
Yeah, basically sums up what you just said.
Let's look. I mean, customer service. There was a restaurant chain, or not a restaurant chain. I think it was a store chain. I think it was Woolworths. I think is what it was called. But they are legendary for having the level of customer service that somebody literally brought back a tire. I think it was a tire, and tried to return it to them, saying we don't need this tire. And they didn't even sell that tire. They did not even sell that brand of tire, and they still took the tire back.
What?
Because it was more important to them to cultivate a good relationship with that customer than to worry about their bottom line. That they said, you know what? All right, we'll take this tire, and rip them out of, probably $70-$80, I'm sure.
I think that person that returned that tire might be one of my least favorite people on the planet.
Right next to the lady who sued McDonald's for the hot coffee.
That actually
This coffee is hot. I'm suing you for it.
No, it wasn't that it was hot. It was so fucking hot that it left third-degree burns on her. The temperature you're supposed to put your coffee at is like at a 10 on the dial, right? The people at this McDonald's had it fucking cranked up to like 1,300. And this is big exaggeration, but when she spilt it, she instantly melted off her skin.
Yeah, that's why they have the caps now that say hot contents. This is because of the Americans.
Well, and the sad fact is, you're probably right. Because our legal system, the way it's set up now, I mean, it does not take much to get away with a bullshit case in court.
Why does it spread here?
Well...
Why do our caps say hot contents? We don't even speak English.
I don't know, we're always told Europeans speak English better than we do.
Are you guys taught English? I know a lot of other countries are taught English from a young age. Like Japan is.
Most Finns suck at English completely.
Very bad. That's awesome. Well, then Finland sucks.
Pretty much.
They can understand it, but they can't really talk good English.
I'm a true American. If you don't speak my language, I don't want to go to your country.
You're not going to go very far, are you?
I know. It's nothing personal. It's just I'm lazy. And I don't expect, and I know you're lazy too. I don't expect you to learn my language, so I had to talk to you.
No, hold up. I speak other languages.
Oh, I had another example of car repair shops. You know when they say that, oh, we'll send you the text message when it's done. Never do I get the text message.
Oh, you do.
I go there like 10 minutes before they close, and they're like, oh yeah, Steve here forgot to send the message. It was done like 5 hours ago.
If you gave someone your phone number to give you a text message when their stuff's done here in the United States, you would not only get that message, but you'd get 5 more messages about scheduling future appointments and for all their affiliates.
Yeah, nothing here. Like, that doesn't happen here. That doesn't happen here.
Oh, you went to this mechanic? You want newsletters for every other mechanic that this particular company owns within a 5-mile radius?
I will never move to your country.
if you have to sign something on like a screen or whatever, you have to like uncheck things, or else you'll get all kinds of junk mail.
Malls are really bad, man. I found out when I went to a mall in Portland. This is an example of shitty, horrible customer service. I did not know until after the fact. I was at a mall and I bought. Not relevant to the story, but I bought a Rocco's Modern Life ball cap. Anyway, I bought a hat at a novelty toy store place, and they're like, would you like to sign up for this blah, 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 like whatever gift card thing for our brand, or chain of stores? I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. It's like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And she's like, okay, we have this feature where we could email you a receipt. And I was actually pretty, this was one at the Comic-Con, so I had all kinds of receipts and shit. I was trying to keep track of how much money I spent. I'm like, okay, that's actually useful, right?
Uh-oh.
Gotcha.
So I scanned my card, put it in my fucking email, and, click, I assume it's okay. It's like, okay, yeah, we're seeing the thing. No, they fucking automatically kept my fucking credit card information and tried to sign me up for a fucking reoccurring, membership thing. Because they have my email and my fucking credit card.
Because
that's all
you bought a fucking hat.
I bought a hat, and they tried to put me on a $11 a month reoccurring subscription fee thing so I could save 3 nickels on the next hat I buy.
Okay, I hate to derail this even further, but I have to ask: was the hat a flat build cap?
No.
Okay.
No, it actually has a curved bill. I do have a lot of flat-billed cap, though.
Oh, you just go outside and kill yourself now.
One of them's my favorite hat ever.
I think people with flat-brimmed baseball cap should be shot.
It's his favorite hat.
And Survivor should be shot again.
It is his favorite hat, though.
I feel bald without a hat on. The other day, it was so windy at work, my hat kept blowing off, so I couldn't wear it. And I had repeat customers that come through. They're like, they thought I was a new employee.
Nice hat.
Oh, I thought you said creepy customers. I'm like,
no.
I heard creepy as well.
Repeat customers that that are used to seeing me there. The first time they saw me without the hat, they thought I was a new employee.
Motherfucker pumps gas for a living. God, man. Now, they were still doing that in my home state back in the early 80s. I can still remember when I was really, 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 really little, there were gas stations that still had attendants, but that stuff was gone from the South by like 1985.
Yeah, it's a thing for sure. Most places, as soon as self-service pumps became a thing, they instantly switched over. Oregon, though, and New Jersey, and a couple places in Canada I've heard of, had a hesitation about it. Like, oh, we don't know if it's going to be safe for all these people to pump their own gas. And to be fair, when it first became a thing, right?
Yeah.
When self-serve first became a thing, it hadn't been tested. We don't have any evidence whether or not people are going to be fucking idiots.
99.99% of the free world pumps their own fucking gas.
I know. I said... I know.
Listen. When you go pump your gas, are you gonna take the fucking nozzle out? It's gonna start to fucking flail the gas all over the fucking thing and kill yourself.
When self-serve first became a thing, they had concerns about it, right? And then when the rest of the world realized, okay, the world didn't burn down because we let people pump their own gas. The law just never came off the books, right? That's how it came. That's how it's still about today. They had concerns when it first became about, and it just never came off the books. And now it's just a thing.
Now I feel bad. There's like 2 states who don't know the pleasure of pumping your own gas.
It's weird. For you guys, it's weird. For me, the other way is weird. I distinctly remember being 4 or 5 years old in the back of my parents' car, and that's just the way we did things. We pulled up to the gas stations.
Paint a picture for me. So you park your car next to the gas pumps, and a guy comes out and does it for you?
Yeah, I come up to your window, and I'm like, so, sir, hey, how's it going today? Okay,
what the fuck?
How can I help you? What can I get for you? Okay, you want $20 regular? Is that going to be cash or credit?
So many questions.
I start up the gas pump. I punch in the information, scan their card, give their card back, unscrew their cap, open the door, unscrew their cap, put the nozzle in, turn it on, right?
Glen.
The thing is, this leads into another point I have about customer service, actually. The job is incredibly simple. You're right. Pumping your own gas is not that hard, right? It's
really?
Obviously. But here's the thing. Try doing your own transaction, right? And being a teller at the same time, and doing that, trying to keep track of your own gas and the gas of like 8 other customers, trying to make change for all these customers on the fly, get people on and off the pumps, get people their receipts, wash windows.
So you don't have automatic, you don't have card readers?
Yeah, we do.
Like, I get out of the car, pump my car full of gas.
If you were to come and get gas here, you can get gas, and you never have to get out of your car.
I get out of my car and pump my car full of gas, put the card in, take the card out, drive away. That's how simple it is.
Yeah, now you get to sit on text on your phone while someone else does it for you.
Daddy, don't touch my fucking car.
It's just a thing. It's my job.
If I went to the US, I would be like, did I tell you to touch the car?
It's not the entire US. It's just Oregon. Jobs that are simple become more complex behind the scenes. Not everything that goes wrong is an example of bad customer service.
That's true.
Jesus.
And I expanded on this. It's like, it isn't always the man flipping your burger that is slow or bad at working.
I thought you were going to say flipping the bird.
Yeah, that guy's bad customer service. But the guy flipping your burger, he can't necessarily cook it faster, right? And sometimes they're busy or understaffed, right? You know.
Oh,
To me, I feel too many times people label stuff that is out of a business's control bad customer service.
Yeah, you can only yes and no. I mean, there's always going to be a reaction time element there that you could question. But yeah, by and large, especially in the United States, we have very strict laws about at what temperature food has to be at before it can be served to a customer. And if you go into a management level position, you usually have to go to a class and take a test on this. It sounds stupid, but
I'm realizing this podcast is just an hour of two Americans making Nico never
we're
want
like
to come to the
completely
US.
blowing Nico's mind. Is what we're doing.
He's like, "Do you guys live on Mars?"
No, you're not blowing my mind. I'm blowing my brains out as we speak. Your country is ridiculous.
You tip? You don't pump your own gas? What is this? That's great.
At one point I wanted to move to US, but I think I'm fine here.
Don't lie, you still want to move here.
Let's talk about UPS, baby. Let's talk about the packages that never arrive.
That, like, very rarely ever happens. At least here in the United States.
The UPS
Depends on
customer service.
No, I disagree. This depends on where you live, and I'm side with Nico. UPS fucking sucks.
Yeah, their customer service in Finland is more like, let me drive by your house and not actually ring the doorbell. And let me do that 3 times, so you have to pick the package up yourself from our pickup location instead.
Sometimes I'd feel that I'd rather put my balls in a vice than get a package delivered by the UPS. It's always a chore. I have to go to they deliver it to the wrong place. Like, they fucking leave it on the wrong fucking apartment's doorstep at the old place I live. So if someone else gets my fucking package and I have to go deal with the shitty-ass neighbors to get it, or they just left it on my doorstep instead of actually knocking. I know they didn't knock because my old fucking room was in the living room, literally right next to the front door. I know they didn't knock.
And it's outside in the rain, getting soaked.
Yeah,
like this one time a lady called me and asked when I'd be home, and I said, after 5. So I come home at 4, I wait till 10 p.m, nothing. Then at around 11 p.m, I get an email saying that the package is now going to return to its shipping country because I didn't answer the door. So I called UPS and the lady said, oh yeah, the delivery guy was there at 4:40. And I said that we made a deal that I'd be home at 5 and it would be delivered after 5. But,
so lady, in what universe is 4:45 o'clock?
Exact fucking
She altered the deal.
But what was even more fucking surprising is that they tried to deliver at 4:40 and I was already home. But I never heard the doorbell when they never rang it. So I was home, they just drove past without even trying to deliver it. And the lady was on the phone like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess, can you come pick it up?
No.
Yeah, that's unexcusable. I can understand
like,
if someone
have him hop his happy ass in the truck and bring it right back to me.
Yeah, they never ring the doorbell. Never. They never knock. They never do anything. They just drive past. I actually once saw the UPS truck. They went around the road and turned around and left. That was their fucking...
Tried to drop your package at the neighbor's house, probably.
Yeah, I don't fucking... No, I literally saw the truck. It didn't stop. It turned around and left. It never stopped.
Oh. Wow.
Well, blow me down. I have never, so far, knock on wood, have never had a bad experience from UPS. Or
like,
FedEx.
UPS is not the only one. It's all of the carriers. They all are fucking... They all suck.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make a difference what it is.
Now, the U.S. mail, those motherfuckers.
Oh no, don't start another US thing. What about the US mail?
They will lose packages or wait to deliver or not deliver and just, I hate them. I hate them.
Isn't
it's
that
not
with
been
every
so
country?
bad since I moved to where I live now, but when I was still living in my home state, it was... I better stop. My blood pressure's already going up just talking about it.
We used to have a post office here nearby, and each and every one of the employees, they usually didn't say a word. Like when you went to pick up packages and letters, they wouldn't even look at you. Like only when they had to say sign this, they would mumble like...
Sounds like my kind of post office.
And if you're new, or like if you're new at signing stuff, or if you never went there before, I can't imagine how fucking difficult it would be to deal with these individuals. Like, luckily that post office got scrapped like a few months ago. We now have a new one with new employees. The other ones were fired or something.
Make eye contact and...
Yes, they're like, welcome, here's your mail, nice to see... I don't want to fucking small talk.
Yeah, they probably all went to work for UPS.
So, first time I moved to my own place, I ordered the internet plan from a well-known service provider, one of the biggest ones in Finland, and they said it would take 3 weeks to get it up and running, and I said, that's fine, I'll wait. So the day comes, my router doesn't blink any lights, gives no signs of online data being transferred. So I call them and ask if there's something wrong, my internet should be up today. And the guy on the phone checks my details and everything, and then he says,
I found the problem. We found out that we can't deliver internet to your place at all.
So basically they forgot to contact me that it can't be done. And I waited for 3 weeks. And I ended up getting an internet plan from another service provider. But again, I had to wait weeks. So, nice going.
Internet service providers in the United States are about the worst thing in the world.
And they kind of lead me to ask something. How do you guys feel about automated customer service?
No.
Like phone lines? Press 1 to discuss with a problem you have with your phone.
And they always say, please listen to all the options because they've recently changed.
If you'd like to pay your bill, press this one. If you'd like to complain or report an outage, click this or plus this one. You don't
sure,
like
it helps them, but it doesn't help us.
Exactly. It's obnoxious, but at the same time, I have to try and play devil's advocate and have to think about why they have those. They're automated because you know how many fucking customers they have? You would if they tried to hire every fucking person to get a human person online with every single person calling them.
It's probably impossible.
There's a good chance your neighbor's gonna pick up the damn phone because they're gonna have to employ half the damn country or whatever.
Or you never make it through the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still hate them. God damn.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I don't mind the fact that automation exists because yes, it streamlines things like bill paying and whatever, and that's great. But if you do not offer an option up front to talk to a human being, already you've done nothing but piss me off.
Yeah, I understand that there will be waits. I want a button. I want a button that says, "Do you put online?" Yes, I don't care. I understand. I understand if there's a gigantic fucking issue and there's thousands of people calling, right? Put me on hold for an hour. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be annoyed. It's gonna be irritating. But I understand, right?
Yes.
Don't make me go through a menu that is purposely convoluted and you have to okay. Last time I called, I remember I pressed 1 2 3 3 1 2 1 1 2. And then that is the order. I have to press the buttons in order to talk to an actual person. I hate
an error has occurred. Start from the top.
No, I legitimately one time. I guess you don't want to. You guys have been leading on to the fact you don't want to mention names. I won't mention the name of the company. But
if it's a public company, that's
fucking
fine.
AT&T.
No, Charter. I guess Charter Communications. It's an internet company, a West Coast. US
I see. I understand.
Internet provider. And their customer service. I would have to. Well, you used to watch Mega Man Nightly, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy. I would have issues where I'd get disconnected every night.
Yes.
And I would try and contact these people and hey, I have these fucking issues. Can you help me work them out? That's ideally what would what the conversation would go like. But instead, it's welcome to Charter Communications. If you'd like to pay your bill, press this button. If you speak Spanish, press this button. But you don't speak Spanish. And and then it holds and waits for you to press neither of the button, and then it continues. It's oh my god, and that's just to get to the first step. And I had to call this number so often and have so much issues with my internet that I wrote down a chain of numbers. That I had to press.
Writing a cheat code for a game.
up, down, left, right, left, right.
If I ever have to do that, it's abysmal. It's Get your shit together.
Internet goes down every day. Every day you input the numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 5.
Internet.
You know what really sucks about that internet company? I have them on a different plant, or different company now, at the new place I'm at, but we also got our landline. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, and our landline was supplied through the same company, so if their internet, if their service was down altogether, I couldn't even call them.
That sucks. That's terrible.
That's smart.
Yeah.
No, that's smart.
Well, yeah, if you're the internet company.
Yeah.
Suddenlink is the company in the South that is like considered universally the worst. They have the worst customer service of any internet service provider in the entire country.
At my work, we used to have a service provider who was in charge of keeping our website up and the servers running. And every other day, they went down without any notice, no reports or anything. And a lot of our customers tried to use our website and couldn't. And there was we certainly lost some money on that. And they started doing awful. And they did have like a downtime list on their website, but they never used it. They lost so many fucking customers. I think they're almost down by now. Like, holy shit.
Internet companies here in the U.S. get away with the shittiest customer service because
They do.
it's a monopoly. Like, it's like an unofficial monopoly, or like a duopoly, if you will. Like, oftentimes, two internet companies will split up an area and agree not to go on each other's turf, if you will, and that way they have sole control over that area. So like the area I was in for the longest time only had one internet provider. If you wanted internet, that is the only choice you had, right?
Yeah, it's the same here.
And they get by with like giving you shitty like I bet you pay a fraction of the price for your internet and get way better internet.
Oh, the entire world gets better internet than we do.
And it's because it's a monopoly. I have no choice. If I want internet, I have to meet them on their terms. And it sucks. They can get away with giving you shitty customer service. They can get away with not ever upgrading the rest of the world is upgrading their fucking internet infrastructure, right? The physical, like, lines and making the internet better. The rest of the world is keeping up on that shit. Their tax dollars in different countries are going to that shit. And the U.S., these companies are getting money to do this shit, and instead of putting it to it, they just like embezzle it or fucking give bonuses to themselves.
I'm gonna make you mad. I'm gonna make you mad right now. I have 100 down and 50 up, €5 a month.
I'm moving to Finland.
Get off our fucking channel. Oh wait, this is your channel.
Oh my god.
Have you ever had like bad customer service occurrences in like online stores?
I've had one or two on eBay. In fact, I just had one on eBay. I recently decided that I'm maybe going to start collecting some original NES games that I had when I was a kid. First one I went out to get, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I found one online on eBay. There was a picture of the box right there, and in the guy's description, he mentions, minimal damage to the box. Game will come with instructions. Blah blah blah. It was $9.99. I thought, and it was like it was an auction. It wasn't a buy it now. It was an auction. So I was like, okay, this might be legit. So I put in a bid. And I was the only one who got it. It ended like I think 2 hours later, and fucking package arrives like a week later, and it's the game with no sleeve, no instructions, no box. And I'm like, what the hell? So obviously I get back on the look at the auction just to make sure I didn't misinterpret things. And sure enough, there's a picture of the box right there and mentions in the description, minimal damage to the box, instructions included, blah, blah, blah. So I sent him a message and said, hey, you owe me a box and instructions at the very least. I kind of assumed the sleeve would be included too, but it wasn't mentioned, so I wasn't expecting it. And he's like, no. He's like, nowhere did I mention that you're going to get a box or you're going to get instructions. So I fucking took a screenshot of it and highlighted all this, and I sent it back to him, and I said, there it is. I said, you can either refund my money or you can find me a box and some damn instructions and send them to me. And finally he's like, you know what, I'm refunding your money, keep the game. And that was the end of that. So it worked out all right. Now I've got a Ninja Turtles cartridge with no sleeve, no box, and no instructions that I'm gonna have to find for, but I've got the game.
Damn it.
just to make amends, I was going to leave him bad feedback, but I figured since he did at least refund me my money, I decided to give him no feedback. So
yeah, that's good. I think I've probably had those bad instances, but the only one I remember when I was a kid, I ordered a fucking mouse from an online shop, and it said it was in stock, would be delivered in a few days, and a week goes by, and I call them, and fucking Igor or something picks up and says, "Oh yeah, we don't have that mouse anymore. Would you rather want this other one that we have?" And I tell them, "Why the fuck would I want that other? Why the fuck would I want that other one if I specifically ordered this certain model?" I fucking waited for a week, and I fucking ended up canceling my order on the phone.
Did you ever find it out somewhere else?
Actually, no, I never got it. I was so busy.
I guess the best examples of customer service I have online is kind of in a weird way. Ages and ages and ages ago, I used to play World of Warcraft, and I would occasionally have issues with like in game where you'd have to talk to a GM. And I remember those, and I consider that kind of customer service, right?
They're supposed to be and courteous and blah blah blah.
I don't know if it's changed a lot since because I haven't played WoW in years, but I remember pretty much every one of my GM interactions in WoW really like fondly. Like they're all.
I only ever had, I think, 2 that I can think of, and they seemed really scripted to me. I think they have a script they have to read off of.
Yeah, but even. Okay, maybe that's true, but a lot of them dip their own, put their own little personality, own little flair.
Sure.
And even if it is a script, it felt, like, hey, I got my shit done quickly, right? I got the issues that I was, trying to have resolved. It, even if it was a script, that necessarily isn't a bad thing, You can get it done efficiently and make you feel like you had your problem solved. So yeah, I don't really have much business interactions online. I've been lucky enough to not have shitty transactions stuff bought online. One time I bought a damaged copy of Mega Man X7 online, but that wasn't much of a loss.
All copies of Mega Man X7 should be damaged.
Then you bought a hat.
I'm going to send a picture of all my flat brim tabs.
I don't want to see it.
That picks you up.
Well, this was definitely interesting. We, like everyone does, we talked about the negative things, and that's what happens, man. Thanks for being here, Mojo.
Yeah, thanks for kicking
Glen.
This is a good episode.
Oh, yeah.
You guys take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.